start off with just recapping how the week's been at the club. Obviously, it was another tremendous result on Saturday night up at Newcastle. How's the team been following that result?
Yeah, obviously buoyed by a fantastic result. Never easy place going to the Jets local derby, but went there with a job to get 3 points, and we got the 3 points, so that's all that matters. And yeah, we dusted the boys down this week, a couple of knocks from a feisty game, but yeah, everybody's fighting fit and ready for selection this weekend.
So everyone's made it through unscathed. You mentioned in your post-game press conference that Nisbet picked up a little bit of a knock. So he and the rest of the boys are all okay for this weekend?
Yeah, Nizzy had a bit of a knock on his calf. Benny had a bit of a kick, and obviously Steele had the elbow in his head. So luckily he's all right. He's probably had worse in Terrigal as a youth. But now the boys are good, and yeah, it's been a good week of training, and yeah, we're fully focused on what's a big week ahead.
In the Jets game, right at the end, Daniel Pena was given a red card and has been given a 2-week suspension. Your thoughts on the 2-week suspension? A lot of people online are saying it's not quite relevant for the manner of the offence.
Look, it's it was ill discipline from him. He's a good player. You don't want to see anybody sent off, but what he did was you don't want to see that on a football pitch, and I think it's the second time in a month he's been sent off for an elbowing incident. And I think everybody that watched the game or watched the incident, I think everybody said that we won't be seen again this season. You don't want a lengthy ban, but to be honest, for the whole of the game, that's, if you can elbow someone in the head twice and get 1 game and a 2-game ban, then I think that sets a precedent for everybody else. And going back on the history of this league, there's been big sanctions handed out for offences like that. You could go back in the history. I think Roy O'Donovan got 12 games, got 8 games for an incident he'd done twice. Look, it's hard to comment, because I don't think anybody, even the commentators, nobody in that stadium or watching the game thought he'd be seen again this season. So I'm not sure what happens now. Maybe there's a review process or the APL get involved. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if we saw him again this season.
And turning the attention back towards, there was a stat that came through this week that said that 47% of the minutes this season have been given to academy kids, and it's the best in Australia, one of the best in Asia, and some of the best in the world as well. So as a coach, how have you sort of seen the academy impact this season, both coming off the bench and then also starting minutes as well?
Look, I think obviously that was made aware to me in the last couple of days. I mean, it's quite remarkable for a club. For us, it's something we've got to be extremely proud of. First in Australia, first in AFC, and 4 of the big leagues: Japan, China, Korea, and not just at the top, sort of way at the top. So look, I had a vision when I took over the academy a couple of years ago. Myself and Sergio and the club, we put a lot of effort into to make sure that we rebuilt the academy and make sure that it starts to produce players again. So it's not an overnight success. It's something that I've worked hard for the last couple of years, and a lot of the boys in the first team. I think the statistic is that boys that have been in the academy for 2 to 3 years that are then in the first team. So that's massive achievement for us as a club. But not only that, I always say, don't just play young players to play, and play them because they deserve to play. And they've got to be able to compete. So to have that statistic and be competing, make an FFA Cup final and be pushing for the top 6 is something that I'm very proud of as a coach, and I know the club, everyone at the club is very proud of. There's too many people to mention that have had a part in a journey, a lot of these players. But I think it's just a start. There's a lot more young players in the academy, and yeah, we always looking to scout the best young players to bring into the club with a vision that we want to turn them into first team footballers, and that's the hardest thing you can do, because it's not easy. But yeah, amazing statistic, and one that we're very proud of.
And you mentioned there about you taking over the academy. This week we saw on social media Sheffield United put up a video of Neil Warnock managing. You were in the change room with him back in your playing days. You ended up scoring away at Leeds in a 4-0 victory. I'm sure you have vivid memories of that massive result. But how much of an influence has your past managers been on your managerial style, and how you've sort of taken over the academy and now taking over the first team and having great success with the numbers?
Yeah, look, I was fortunate to come through Sheffield United Academy, which is actually one of the best in the world, I think, of producing players and generating transfer fees. You only got to look at the players they've sold from the academy: Harry Maguire, Jagielka, Kyle Walker. You're talking world class players that are playing at the top clubs in the Premier League and internationals, and that's just to name a few. So look, I take a lot of experience from that. Some of the good coaches I had in my youth days, as well as the first team coaches. And look, Neil Warnock was for me, he gave me my debut. He's just retired actually a couple of weeks ago, so I'll have to give him a call. But yeah, just you take a lot of good stuff from the good people that you work with, and you know, get rid of the bad stuff that from coaches. But yeah, obviously he was a big influence on me. He gave me my debut. I loved his honesty, you know. I loved how he said it as it was. You know, he wasn't afraid to talk to players, and he's always open. And that's something that I've always tried to do. You know, as well as that, you know, work with top people, other top people: Brian Robson, Brian Kidd, Mike Phelan. Spent time with him as well when he was at the club. So yeah, a lot of people have had an influence on me as a coach, and I always try to take the good experiences and put them into you and into your makeup and what you do in every day. So yeah, look, you know, on top of that, I try to be myself. I'm never going to change. I always try to be myself, and yeah, it's good that I've had experiences of working with people that have won everything in the game, and yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the way that they treat people and how honest they are.
And this weekend, when I got Western United tomorrow, we played them in Ballarat in a pretty entertaining game. It was 2-2. We had the chance to make it 3-2 and take all 3 points from that one. Do you see this one as an opportunity to really claim those 3 points, with them obviously pushing for that top spot, which you know they're going to be competitive for, and us pushing to maintain our position in that top 6? Yeah,
look, we're at home. We love playing at home. We love the fans behind us. You know, the pressure's on them. They're fighting for the Premier's plate. You know, we've said it before. They've got a big budget. They brought in a lot of good players in the off season. They've had a good season. But we played them in Ballarat, and yeah, I thought we deserved to win the game on the night. Unfortunately, you know, Jason missed a penalty for his hat trick. Yeah, there's a little bit said after that, I think. So yeah, disappointing that we didn't come home with 3 points, but they're a good team. We'll give them full respect. They've got some good players, but they're coming to our home, and we love playing at Central Coast Stadium. We're hoping for a big crowd tomorrow, 4 o'clock kickoff. So yeah, we're excited for the game, and the boys can't wait to get out there tomorrow.
And with the game tomorrow, the Mariners are doing Kids Go Free. Obviously, you're a fan of the man yourself. You've got kids yourself. Bringing kids up in that football atmosphere and getting them to games. Have you seen that sort of transform your life, as well as obviously your kids' lives and other families as well?
Yeah, a great initiative from the club, number one. You know, let's bring anyone listening out there, bring your friends, bring as many kids as you can. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff. There's lots of stuff on before the game. We want a real carnival atmosphere, but then, you know, come and enjoy a good game of football. 2 good teams that are both going to go out and try and win the game. So for me, obviously having young kids, my wife will be there with the kids. 4 o'clock kickoff. The late kickoffs sometimes hard, but yeah, I'm looking forward to a good atmosphere tomorrow, and yeah, you know, the kids coming to games. It becomes a generation thing where, you know, down the line they bring their kids, and then that's where you get that culture of sport and families following teams through thick and thin. So yeah, we hope there's a lot of kids there tomorrow screaming for the Mariners and really helping us achieve what's hopefully going to be a good result for us.